What we want to add now is a listing with all the records that we have saved so far, and the ability for the user to remove some of those records if they don't want to have them. We'll begin by looking into records.html. We're going to create a new container, which is going to have it's going to be of a type ImageList, same as we did with the list of projects. It has an ID, records list, doesn't have images, and it has remove buttons. Now we want to initiate this when this particular screen is loaded, and the first thing we'll do is go to index.html and add something very similar to what we have here, but it's gonna say records, because that's the ID of the page, and we'll create a new method called initRecords. Now let's go to ztempo.js, and you'll see here that the method that we're creating is almost the same as the one we used for the projects. It's very, very similar. We start by defining some empty variables that we'll use. We create a div of data type header for the header of the list, and then we iterate through the list of saved records. Right? We go and for each element of this list, we create a new item, which is going to be of type item. It's going to have a record ID of the current record ID, and for the title we'll get the number of hours from the record rounded to up to 2 decimals. We'll also show the project name, the project client, and in that sort of subheader area, that grayish area shown below the main element title, will show the date when we started, the time when we started, and the time when we ended. The only things that we are lacking here is actually pushing the item into the items array, and of course grabbing the actual image list using element.getElementById records list, right? Because that's the ID we gave it, and we'll refresh that, giving it all the values, all the objects that we've just created. This should be enough to display the listing of records. We have nothing, so it's showing nothing yet. If we begin time tracking and we stop, we'll do it a few times. That should have created a few entries. Now we want to have this working as well, and that's also very similar to what we did before for the projects. I'm gonna add that in here. We're listening to the on button click event. We save in this variable the currently selected list element. We get the record ID by grabbing the attribute record ID, a custom attribute that I created. Could have used any name. That's something that's just a custom attribute. And we're deleting the record from the memory and from the screen. In order to delete the record from the global namespace variable, I've created this helper method, which is very simple. We haven't got there yet. Okay. It basically what it does, it iterates through the records array. It finds the one that matches, and once it does, it grabs the index, it quits the loop, it breaks the loop, and then it splices that particular index from the array, from the records array. Now let's try that out, see if it's working. I'm going to start by creating some records, and now I go here and see how I can delete some elements. Go to another screen, go back there, and we only see the ones that should remain. Just to summarize, what we've done here is creating a record, a list with the records, which is an image list type. We initiate the records page, the record screen, in the onDoneReady event by calling init records. And what that method does, it basically creates the elements that will go into this image list, starting by a header container, and then for each one of the records we have, it will create an element for it. It will show the duration of that record, the project we worked on, and some other information, and it will listen to the on button click event, so that when the item is clicked, it will delete that record, that particular record, and it will delete it both from the global variable and from the screen.